Hey guys, so with the Super Bowl coming up, I wanted to break down both coaches, Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan. Just going to give a brief background on their lives, and this is a little bit more of their general tendencies. I'm not too sure exactly what they have planned for each other. I'll give my best guess on that at the end, but just to get started with Andy Reid. He was born in Los Angeles, California. That's where he grew up, and he attended high school there where he was a football player and offensive lineman. He then went to Glendale Community College where he played offensive tackle, and he transferred to BYU to continue his football career there. He didn't end up playing a whole lot, but that's really where he grew his love for the analytics and strategy of football from watching on the sidelines. So after he graduated, he became a graduate assistant, started coaching there for a little bit, and this really started off his career. He then went to San Francisco State, which I think is a little bit funny given they're playing the 49ers, and then worked at a couple of other universities as assistant coaches before getting hired by the Green Bay Packers. And from then on, he eventually got the head coaching job of the Philadelphia Eagles in 1999, where he worked there until 2012, where he got the head job for the Chiefs in 2013, and he's been there up to today. A two-time Super Bowl champion, also made it once with the Eagles. They just didn't win, but pretty established coach. He's 65 years old. He has a combined record of 283 wins and 160 losses, with 25 wins and 16 losses in the postseason. So yeah, now kind of going into some of his strategies. He's a pass favoring coach. He's kind of always ran this strategy. This is known as the West Coast offense, which in simple terms just means that he likes to pass the ball a lot more than he runs. And he does this with different spread formations. This is also another term for formations like shotgun that really spread out the defense and the different covers. And this has really kind of led him to build the Chiefs by being an offensive powerhouse. Just some specific statistics on this. The Chiefs ran only about 38.6% of the time, with the rest being passes of some sort. And just to show how aggressive they are in terms of their passing game, this year they had 64% of their first down formations were under shotgun. So really just like to get the ball firing in there. Has had a lot of the key draft picks for building the Chiefs dynasty into what it is today, starting with Kelsey in 2013, getting Chris Jones in 2016, also getting Tyreek Hill this year. Would have been great if the Chiefs were able to keep him. Getting Mahomes in 2017, which is pretty much now the bread and butter of the Chiefs offense. And then 2022, getting Pacheco, their running back, who's not to be slept on by any means. And then getting Rice, one of their primary receivers this year in the draft. And from his experience as an offensive lineman, he's really kind of put emphasis on the Chiefs line, whether it's both the offensive and defensive line. I'd say the Chiefs have a really good offensive line, really good defensive line too. I think the 49ers have a little bit more power there overall, but the Chiefs are right there as well. And I think he's kind of gotten established as also a player's coach, really a down-to-earth person, really is approachable for his players. He likes to hold these meetings every week, which is kind of just an opportunity for players from each position to complain or vent about any frustrations or things they don't like with the team format. And he's just kind of there for the morale and to listen to improving everything with the team dynamic going forward. And back to more of his specific strategy. Another reason the Chiefs offense is able to be so effective is that Reid is really good at reading blitzes. He's really good at exploiting defenses for trying to blitz. He does this with a lot of quick passes. Mahomes can get rid of the ball really quick. The Chiefs can do things like this to even deter teams from wanting to blitz in the first place. They can set up screens. They can set up hot routes, have really done a good job kind of getting rid of any weaknesses for their passing game on offense. He's really good at reading defenses in a general sense too, and making quick transitions on how the defense is lining up for specific things that could open up their passing game. And a lot of this knowledge he has really implemented in Mahomes as well. That's why Mahomes is also able to read defenses so well and is able to do some of this on his own, even without Reid's guidance. I think maybe the only downside to this is that the Chiefs don't have as much versatility on offense. If for some reason they're not able to get the passing game going, they can't really transition into a more run-dependent team. I think Pacheco's really more effective when you have the passing game working so strong. So those few times that they do mix in runs gives him a lot of opportunity to have some really quick bursts of speed. And since they aren't really prone to blitzing of any sort, this year the only problem has been with dropped passes. So like I said, if for any reason the passing game just isn't really working, there's not a whole lot that they can turn to, but they've built up a lot of defenses for blitzing and different things like that and have such a wide array of passing. They can also pass deep downfield a lot in addition to quick and short or medium passes. So really a passing powerhouse, and his tendency for building the team in this manner. And then now switching over to Kyle Shanahan, a quick recap on him. He moved around a lot through his upbringing. This was due to his dad, Mike Shanahan, being a football coach. So he was born in Minneapolis when his dad was the coach at the University of Minnesota, but he ended up moving back to California and he attended high school there in Saratoga. This was when his dad was the 49ers offensive coordinator, but halfway through high school, he transferred to Colorado when his dad got the head job at the Denver Broncos. And he also played football himself. He played as a wide receiver, ended up playing at the University of Texas at Austin. Didn't also end up playing a whole lot, so he got into coaching himself. He became a graduate assistant as well. He worked under Carl Dorrell at UCLA and then got right into the NFL, working as a wide receiver coach for the Texans, and then also worked under his dad at the Redskins. Also worked for the Browns and then eventually got the offensive coordinating job for the Falcons. This is where they infamously lost the Super Bowl. And then he was eventually hired by San Francisco as the head coach in 2017, where he's had a pretty good career and having mostly good seasons, getting the 49ers a lot to the playoffs and then obviously losing to the Chiefs in 2020. And he's a little bit on the younger side in terms of comparison to Reid. He's 44 years old. He has a combined record of 72 wins and 54 losses, going 8-3 in the postseason. And just kind of going into more of his statistics, he's kind of the opposite to Andy Reid. Really likes to focus on the running game. This is his bread and butter. 49ers ran the ball just under 50% this year. And in comparison for what they're doing on first downs, passing only 35% of the time on first downs. And he really likes to work under center a lot. This opens up opportunities for play action. This opens up the running game, letting the running back get more of a running start. And this has all really been taken to the next level with acquiring McCaffrey, and has really also made some key draft picks in building the 49ers team to what it is today. First off, getting George Kittle in 2017, getting Fred Warner in 2018, a really big draft year for the 49ers in 2019, getting Nick Bosa in the first round, Deebo Samuel in the second, and Greenlaw in the fifth. 2020, they got both Ayuk and Jennings, their two receivers, in addition to Samuel this year. And then in 2022, getting Brock Purdy in the last pick of the draft. So really has had some key draft picks, is responsible for a lot of the players that are on the 49ers today. And specifically what he does with their running game is known as this zone running system. And this is a really more complicated version of a traditional running scheme. And a lot of this is happening before the ball is even snapped, with the directions for where the linemen are blocking, the different motions that the players are going into, things such as jet sweep motions, fake ghost motions, fake reverses, running reverses, using Deebo Samuel as a running back. All of this is kind of implemented into this zone running system. And this was something that his father also liked as well. And Shanahan has really taken that and perfected it into his own version, this time using a lot more deception. So even if teams know the 49ers are likely to run, they don't know where or how, and some of the different things he draws out really kind of leaves defenses in a maze because they're not exactly sure where to fill gaps. They haven't seen these types of unique running plays done before, so it really leaves them on their toes. And another thing is that Shanahan is really aggressive in using the running game, even if teams aren't able to know exactly what they're going to do. He may even run in a pass-heavy situation just to really leave teams guessing what exactly the 49ers are going to do. And he does also like to have a lot of versatility for the offense. He likes to allow a lot of room for adaptation, a lot of room for in-game adjustments. This is why he has built the 49ers offense with so many weapons, with Kittle, Samuel, Ayuk, McCaffrey. Purdy can even scramble and run himself. And I think this is especially shown in how the 49ers have been able to come back in the second half and win their past 2 playoff games. And also his heavy running strategy along with his versatility goes hand in hand with the 49ers' time of possession. Since they're able to run the ball a lot, really make slow gains, they're really in control of the game. They're in control of the clock. They can bleed out the clock, which is why if they're able to get their offense going, it doesn't even give the opposing team an opportunity to get the ball to begin with. And this also really puts some wear and tear on the defense. If the 49ers are able to do this, it really puts them in a lot of fatigue. A lot of these sustained drives really takes a toll on the other team's defense. I think that's why we've seen the 49ers kind of have this slow burn in the past couple of games, and that really come back to bite teams. Towards the end of the game, we likely could see this again in the Super Bowl. There's just so much going on, whether it's the mental or physical strain on the defense with all these different shifts and misdirection. They might do all of these different movements just to have a simple run up the middle, but it just really leaves teams confused as to what exactly is going on. I'll just give a brief clip here to kind of show this as an example.
Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there.
So this is a really effective running play here, just to give you the idea. And I think this is really the bread and butter of the 49ers offensive strategy under Shanahan, and also a heavy focus on the defense. This is also the 49ers as a franchise have really put a heavy emphasis on having a strong defense as well. Shanahan also plays a part in that, but I think Shanahan really oversees the 49ers offense. There isn't an offensive coordinator, and a little bit more of the defensive strategy maybe for the 49ers defensive coordinator. But I think in the Super Bowl, we will likely see both of this at play. I don't think the Chiefs are going to change their passing strategy. The 49ers aren't going to change their running strategy, even though that they are able to be versatile and adapt. And I think if the 49ers really can control the clock in the Super Bowl, it will be really to their advantage because there isn't a whole lot you can do to stop Mahomes. I think they're going to have to do damage control on defense, figure out some way to put pressure on Mahomes, whether it's some sort of disguised blitzing or different quarterback spy plays. I think they're going to have to do something like that, or just really bring maybe a 6 or 7 man rush. So there's not a whole lot you can do. At the end of the day, there's only 5 offensive linemen. So I don't think you can just send an extra man in there to blitz against the Chiefs. Reid and Mahomes are going to be able to handle that every day and make the 49ers pay for that. So I think they're going to have a really aggressive plan for the defense, and I think the offense is going to have to adapt earlier, even though they're going to have a strong second half. I think in the first and second quarter, they're really going to have to make changes quickly to see what's working and what isn't. And if they can get the running game started, great, but I think for the most part, you can't change a whole lot, even though they will have some specific strategies for each other. But I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in the Super Bowl, what strategies they are going to implement. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you later.